Say, are you guys ready for day 10? Let's go!
What's up, guys? I am Michael McAnally, and this is Leo the Hiking Dog. For the last year, we have been planning and preparing for this through hike of the Appalachian Trail. Thank you for joining our adventure. If you are enjoying the journey, please like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. We would be super thankful.
All right, just got dropped off at the Knock, and we are getting ready to make this 8-mile climb. We got a couple of the big climbs today, the one out of the Knock, and then we're going to be doing Jacob's Ladder up to the Brown Fork Shelter is the goal. So we're going to get this day started, and here we go. All right, I made a couple of little gear changes yesterday. Just wanted to give you guys an update on that. My rain gear yesterday was not sufficient, to say the least. So I'd never pulled out my poncho, which I probably could have. However, I know it doesn't cover my arms very well either. So that was the deal, the reason why I never pulled it out. And I had the Frog Tog Extreme Light rain jacket, which I don't feel like was just heavy enough to walk in that much rain for that long. So eventually I was just wet from head to toe. When I made it into the restaurant, I literally was shivering and could not stop shivering until I got out of those wet clothes and into my dry clothes. If you guys saw that transition yesterday when I changed at the restaurant into my puffy, it was because I was shivering so bad and I couldn't stop. So the rain gear that I now have is, I wound up buying a Patagonia Torrent rain jacket, which is a very thick, as far as rain prevention goes. I think it's going to work absolutely fantastic and keep me dry. So I sent home the umbrella, which I'm no longer using, the poncho, which I never even pulled out, and I sent home the Frog Tog Extreme Light rain jacket, all to switch out for one Patagonia rain jacket, which I think is going to be a lot more durable and waterproof as far as keeping me absolutely 100% dry. So that's the gear changes that I made yesterday. Also, we changed Tyler's trail name. If you guys heard earlier in the video, they tried to name him Patches because he went to town and they gave him an eye patch. I said Patches doesn't make sense because you have a singular eye patch. Well, Tyler just got out of the military about a month ago, and he's a captain in the military. So I said, how about Captain Patch? And he accepted that. So Tyler's trail name is now Captain Patch. Mine is still Master Splinter. I still have Leo. I'm just looking for Michelangelo, Raphael, and Leonardo. And our Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle theme will be complete. All right, we're gonna get these miles in. Talk to you guys soon. All right, we are a couple miles into this climb out of the NOC. It's a long one. It's not too steep, but it's just long, about 8 miles. Rain finally cut out. Should be gone for the rest of the day. The clouds are gonna go away here soon, hopefully, so that when we do get to the views, you guys are able to enjoy them. I got that mustache straightened up last night, looking straight, looking good. A lot of people said I couldn't keep this thing throughout the entire trail. I couldn't keep it up. You know what? Sounds like a challenge to me. I'm gonna see how long and curly I can make it before I get up to the top of Katahdin. How's that? All right, we're gonna continue this climb with the out of here. We're gonna start our day with a big climb, and we're gonna end our day with a big climb today. So the climb out of the NOC, and then ending the day at Jacob's Ladder to the Brown Fork shelter. I stayed at that shelter last year on a section hike, so I kind of know the layout of it. It's not a bad shelter, but it's a good place to stop after climbing Jacob's Ladder because it just kind of sucks. It's like 600-700 feet of elevation and a half a mile, so it's almost like straight up. I don't know why they call it a ladder. I think a ladder would have rungs. It doesn't really have rungs, but it's just, isn't Jacob's Ladder the ladder into heaven, right? Shouldn't it be like Satan's ladder because you're climbing, feels like up into hell? I don't know. Just a thought, because it's no fun. But we're gonna get to that when we get to it. We'll tackle it then. So we're gonna get some more miles in. Hurry up, guys. You guys are so slow. Keep up with me. You're slowing me down, bro. All right, we are still climbing. We reached a new part of the forest where the sun's starting to clear out the fog a little bit, but all the rocks are covered in like a green moss, this kind of thing. So as far as you can see, kind of changed the terrain. There's a lot of moss covered rocks everywhere, so you gotta be careful where you step, because obviously that stuff is not foot friendly as far as slippage goes. North Carolina has been covered in blowdowns. The trail maintenance crews have not been out yet to clear up a lot of things, so it does require some log hugging, as we just got done doing, climbing over a log, walking in and around dead trees that have fallen across the trail. Oh, try not to fall here as I give you guys this update, but it definitely creates more of an obstacle course than anything. Georgia trail crews were out and they cleared the trail nice, so this section has been definitely a little bit more crowded as far as what the blowdowns and twigs on trail, and this is just not clear. Slows you down a bit, not too much. We're still making great mileage and great times, but it slows you down just a hair, because you gotta figure out how to navigate something like that last log. Leo couldn't go under it, and he wasn't sure about going over it, so I had to kind of show him, look, I'm gonna go over it, and then he'll follow. So, but all right, gonna get some more miles in. All right, this is the type of obstacles that we're dealing with. This is a downed tree. The stump is right in the path, and it's a big step up and a mudslide basically to get through there. So we're having to climb. All right, we made it to our first view of the day. However, there's not much of a view because the clouds are still socked in. This is called the jump up, and last year when I did my section hike of this part of the AT, I stopped here at midnight. I did a night hike up to this point so that I could just sit up here at the top of the mountain and stare at the stars. It was absolutely amazing. Today, not so much. Just got some clouds, but that's okay. We'll get some views before the end of the day because these clouds should clear up eventually. All right, we are still climbing and climbing and climbing. I want to talk a little bit about yesterday and the freezing rain. So we only did 11.4 miles into the knock, but we both agreed that that was probably the hardest 11 miles that we had done so far because of how cold it got and how numb we were. So on the way down into the knock, it was about 3 miles left. Tyler's looking down at his feet, kind of watching where he's going. I don't know what happened, but David Goggins inner voice started telling me to run. So I started jogging down to the NOC for a good like mile and a half. I just put on a steady jogging pace to just try to get there quicker. I couldn't feel my hands. They really weren't in good shape. So I just wanted to get to that restaurant and get warmed up. That's what happened yesterday, like right at the end of the day. You do have to be careful out here in those type of conditions. If I would have had to camp that night, it would have been fine. I would have just had to got my tent set up, get out of all of the wet clothes and get into all dry clothes, climb into my quilt and my sleep system, and it would warm my body right back up. I did a little test the other night when it was the night that it sleeted. I put my little temperature gauge that's on my fanny pack inside of my quilt system with me, and even though it was in the 20s outside of our tent, inside of my quilt with my sleeping pad, it was 70 degrees with my body temperature. So it definitely keeps you plenty warm, because I was toasty. I really didn't feel cold at all during the night. It was nice. The temperature inside the tent outside of my sleep system was about 43 degrees. So me and Leo inside the tent is somewhere around 15 degrees of body heat that warms up the tent and keeps the temperatures up. So that's the story of what happened at the end of the day yesterday. We're just gonna, I guess, keep on climbing. I think we got 2 more miles of this climb left, and then we'll get a little bit of reprieve until we hit Jacob's Ladder. All right, gotta get these miles in. All right, guys, we are about 7 miles in now. The sun is trying to peek out and push these clouds away. We kind of got a little bit of a view. I mean, it's just through the trees, but it's better than what we've had all day. Take a look at that. You can see those clouds like covering the mountains, but you can still see a little bit of the mountains through there. It's about 50 degrees right now. It's supposed to get all the way up to 60 today. I'm sure I'm waiting, because that climb, I basically sweat through everything. So I don't know if I had a problem with my rain gear necessarily. I think I just have a sweat problem, because I am completely 100% soaked, and it didn't rain enough for me to be this wet at all. I think it's just 100% sweat. So, but there's the sun. It's a glorious thing. You begin to rejoice when you've been literally in clouds for 2 days and in rain, freezing rain, and then you just get a little bit glimpse of the sun, and it's just one of the most amazing feelings to have that sun shine down on your skin. So hopefully we get a lot more of that today. It would really be really nice. We're going to stop here at the Sassafras Gap Shelter and get a little bit of water, start our cold soak for lunch. I'm going to switch up my lunches, and I'm going to do my cold soaking in the middle of the day on my way to lunch. And then I'm going to have my protein bagel, salami, cheese, and peanut butter for dinner. It's going to be the end of my day, a little bit more of a recovery meal. And also, the cold soaking at the end of the day seems to be a little bit more of a chore, because I have to get the water in the pot, and then once I'm setting up my tent and everything, I'm all done. It's not really ready yet, but this way I can walk while it's getting ready, so it's not a big deal. Not really taking any extra time. So I'm going to switch those things up, and I'm probably going to wind up sending my stove home, because I have only used it at this point one time. Really, one time to make coffee, and I didn't have to have coffee that day. I just decided to make coffee at the end of the day. We'll see. I'm gonna judge on how much I use it through the Smokies. A hot cup of Joe in the Smokies might be the luxury that I need to push me through some of those 20-mile days. A little bit of caffeine probably wouldn't hurt either. All right, we're gonna push down into the shelter, and then we gotta get some more miles in. All right, I just stopped at the Sassafras shelter. It's a pretty muddy mud hole, but I got my cold soak started so that when we stop for lunch, it'll be ready to go. Got to refill the water, and we're gonna push on. We're at the end of the 8-mile climb, and the sun has finally broken through the clouds and blessed us with its rays, and it's absolutely amazing, and I can't wait for it to do that for the rest of the day. So these clouds need to be gone so that I can dry out, because I'm covered and drenched in sweat, which is fine. But anyway, we're gonna finish climbing this hill. I'm gonna find a spot for lunch. Yes, yes, made the climb, and the sun opened up a little bit for us to get the view at the top of Cheoah Bald. Oh, absolutely gorgeous, fantastic. All right, we stop for lunch. All right, we just finished up lunch on Cheoah Bald. The sun teased us a couple times coming out and acting like it was going to warm us up, and then it would go away again. So I didn't sit still for very long because I am covered in sweat from the 8-mile climb and I am cold. So I wanted to get moving again. I can always pull out my puffy or something like that on one of those breaks, but I prefer not to dig into my bag as little as possible during the day. So the solution for me is to eat fast and get my feet going again. All right, I think we have around 8 miles left for the day. So we're gonna knock these 8 miles out, get into Brown Fork Shelter. Still making our descent down from Cheoah Bald, but the sun finally opened up, gave up some views here behind the trees. Just absolutely gorgeous. Show you what these descents look like, guys. Hey, they've been a little bit of a mudslide here lately, so you gotta be really careful where you put your feet when you're going downhill, because it's pretty much, this is the level camera, and you can see how how far Leo just went down. So I'm pointing the camera down now, but there's a lot of slick areas like that. You can see somebody's already slid through there. So you got to be super careful in these muddy areas of where you place your feet. That Sassafras Gap shelter, me and Tyler both fell walking down the stairs. I mean, because at the end of each step was just a big old mud pit, and we both slid and busted our butts, but that's okay. Didn't hurt anything, just got a little mud on my hand. All good, got cleaned up. And all right, just wanted to show you guys that view because the sun finally came out for a little bit. Hopefully it stays out. It would be really nice to feel nice and warm for a while. You see Leo scratching himself in the leaves up ahead. He really does love it out here, guys. I know everybody's really loving the Leo content, so I've got a special coming for you guys tomorrow. I'm going to tell you what it is at the end of the video, so stay tuned to the end. I'm going to tell you what the special is that we're going to do tomorrow. Out here on the trail, it's the little things that make you happy. Been walking here in the sun now for 30 to 45 minutes, and it's just been the most glorious thing because we haven't seen it in a couple days. So I stopped and took my my top layer off just so that I can get a little bit more sun on the skin, and it's just a glorious thing. Yeah, it warms you up. It just cheers you up. When it was like trying to peek out earlier, I'd be like cheering it on, like, yeah, come on out, son. And so it's so nice for it to finally be out, and hopefully it stays out for the rest of the day because I really appreciate it. Yeah, this sun's really nice. It's starting to make my fur fluff back out, and I really appreciate that. It's really nice. Let's go. Maybe not. I'm just going to sit here and enjoy it for a second. All right, we just reached the top of a ridge here, and I mean, even though there's lots of trees and stuff, it's just a beautiful view. Even through the trees, you guys can see over the side of me. Oh, man. It just, when you get to the top of these ridge lines, you got views on one side, right? You got views on the other side. I love a ridge line. It's really cool to be able to walk a ridge line and have views on both sides. Just the mountains, down to the valley, up to the mountains, mountains across the horizon. Absolutely amazing. All right, 13, 14 miles into the day, somewhere between 13 and 14. We got another mile down into the Gap, the Cheoah Gap. I think that's how you say it. And then Jacob's Ladder. We have to tackle that bad boy right at the end of the day, which is going to be no fun at all. But we're going to make it happen. Alright, we crossed over Cheoah Gap and we are now about to start Jacob's Ladder. We got to get up here to, I think it's called Sweet Gum Gap or something like that. And then we start the ladder itself. The forest has completely changed over here. There's nothing green. Everything is just brown. And so it looks different, a lot different from what we've been doing. So it's kind of like the environment's changed, the trail's changed. But I just noticed it as we were walking through there. Just completely everything brown. No green. So that's interesting. All right, the ladder begins. I'm going to show you guys what the ascent looks like, although I don't think the camera will do it justice, but we're going to give it a shot anyway. All right, that is it. And this is just the beginning of it. And it's 600 to 700 feet of elevation in less than a half of a mile, which is a lot of elevation with no switchbacks. So me and Leo just took a little water break, got a little snack, and now we're fixing to tackle it. All right, we have survived Jacob's ladder. Oh, it was no fun. I sweated in my glasses. The sweat is in my eyeballs right now. And I really ain't got nothing to wipe it with because my shirt is covered in sweat as well. So, about a mile and a half to the shelter now. I'll make it. All right, I'll talk to you guys soon. All right, guys, made it here to the Brown Fork Gap shelter, and we're gonna get some water and get our dinner and figure out how we're sleeping tonight. Oh, goodness gracious, that was a heck of a day. A lot of elevation. Don't forget, I'm gonna let Leo make his announcement here in a little bit after we get settled, so stay tuned. All right, we decided that we're gonna take over the shelter since nobody else is here. I got Tyler cleaning it up for me. No, I'm just kidding. I cleaned my half, he's cleaning his half. So, but yeah, we're just trying to get it as clean as possible. When you lay in these shelters and you put your gear in here, it gets kind of dirty. So, all right, we're gonna get set up and then Leo will make his announcements about tomorrow.
Hey guys, I just want to let everybody know that tomorrow, Dad's gonna let me commentate the entire video. It's gonna be Leo Takeover Day. So you guys make sure you watch because I'm gonna tell you all about everything that I do on the trail.
Alright, all settled in here. We're done with this day. We did 5,755 feet of elevation with only 3,700 feet of descent. That's the most elevation that we've done in a single day since we've been out here. So, got some food in our bellies. We're gonna just relax and finish up the night. And you guys don't forget, tomorrow is gonna be Leo's day. All day tomorrow, Leo's gonna be telling you guys exactly what's going on the trail. So make sure you tune in for that. We'll see you guys tomorrow.